Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest EV Review Ireland Power Hour. I always say I try to do these a bit more often, and I was looking back on the most recent Power Hour, and it was the 1st of January, where we actually talked about the new EVs coming in 2024. First of all, as always, I want to make sure people are listening and hearing me loud and clear. If you can jump into the comments and let me know where you're watching tonight. We are streaming across Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, I believe, as well as the YouTube channel. And tonight's topic is going to be all about used EVs. I've spent a lot of research and time checking out over 30 different types of electric vehicles on the used EV market right now in Ireland. We're going to be looking at some of the bargains out there, but also going to be looking at what to look out for, what to keep an eye on. So we've only got 60 minutes and over 30 EVs. But before I do, can you make sure you jump into the comments and let me know where you're tuned in from? I'd appreciate it, just to make sure that we're getting across all of the different social channels. So all good coming in Wexford on Twitter. This is the first time that it's actually worked on X, as it is now. Thank you, Thomas. So that's coming in on Twitter. I appreciate that. Anybody on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube able to jump in and give me a quick comment? I would really appreciate it. Lots going on. We obviously have, since we've spoken last, we ran our Ireland's first electric vehicle show in the RDS in partnership with Bank of Ireland, and it was such a success. We are going to run it again in November the 10th. So if you haven't already heard about it, it is going to be bigger and better than our February show. We've over 80 electric vehicles on show with a large number of Irish launches. We're just confirming them all at the moment. So we are looking forward to welcoming you on the day, and there's going to be a number of stages, topics, etc., etc. So bigger and better than before. Okay, we're going to get straight into it. As I said, we're tight on time with over 30 used electric vehicles, and we're going to start at the bottom of the price range and work up to the top as to what I've seen on the marketplace, etc. And it wouldn't be a electric vehicle used EV roundup if we didn't have the OG itself, the Nissan Leaf. And this one is 2014. It's coming in at just under 4,000 euros. A lot of people, it's their first time getting into an electric vehicle. It is going to be something like this. Smaller range. It is a CHAdeMO connector as well on the front of it. If you're watching this as well, but don't be afraid to jump into the comments and jump in with your thoughts and insights. I can only cover so much. So it is a slightly different fast charging connector. The AC connector will be a type 1. And so just have to understand that if you are going on longer journeys, usually with a Generation 1 Nissan Leaf, not as often, but some of the public charging network may not have CHAdeMO connectors moving forward. In saying that, I was down end of last week at the new charging hub in Mullingar with SSE Electricity, and they have a couple of the 10 spaces, 2 of them are CHAdeMO. So under 4,000 euros, you're able to get this electric Leaf. It has a couple of different battery sizes, so understanding what's your range and what you are looking for. Also on the Nissan Leaf, it will have 12 bars on the dash, and with those bars, then as the battery degrades over time, and this is 10 years old now, it will drop a bar visually. But throughout all of this show, I'd like to recommend that you, whatever garage you're dealing with, you get a battery report from them, a percentage, an SOH, a state of health report on that battery. But kicking things off, just under 4,000 euros is the Nissan Leaf. So a lot of them on the roads, and would have been Ireland's best-selling electric vehicle up until the ID.4 overtook it, and a long time on the roads. And with the Nissan dealer network around the country, a lot of them were sold throughout that Nissan, and they really were the first to market with a mass market electric vehicle. So kudos to Nissan for that. Next up, I've got a couple of different spreadsheets back and over here, so I'm going to be jumping around the stage, making sure that we're covering everything, is the Renault Zoe. And with that Renault Zoe, we are starting off our price at just under 8,000 euros. This is coming in from Auto Image, a franchise dealer. One thing with my research, I've always tried to get a dealer of some sort, independent or franchise, so that there is an element of some sort of warranty with that. Whereas if you buy person to person. Unfortunately, it's sold as seen. Very little people will stand over with the warranty, and they wouldn't have the facilities to do that as well. So with my search results I have, we've got Matthew coming in here. Good Leaf is a great car. I had two. I want something different for the next purchase. So maybe the Zoe is for you, Matthew. I would be interested in range testing a 2017 to 2022 Nissan Leafs. That would be good, Neely, for sure. So all of these battery degradation, etc., etc. Renault Zoe, I love it. Another great car. You have to be careful with it because sometimes they come with battery leasing, number one, but also depending on your market, they would have, depending on the spec, whether they have just AC or the slower charging versus DC fast charging. So when you open it up and the charging port is on the front and behind the Renault Diamond there, you'll see whether it's an actual AC and if the bottom part flips down to DC. So some of the earlier ones only have AC, so just be conscious of that. Again, battery size on this, it is coming in at NEDC of 210. NEDC is an interesting way of running it. This one is 91,500. It is 2015. And so here we go. It's an Intense 100. Lots of the bells and whistles on it there. And again, like the Nissan Leaf, you're going to be just making sure you understand the battery size that you're getting, what the actual range is on it now versus what that NEDC range that you can see there. And so making sure that you understand these. But great car, really like it. And then what we got coming up then on the next one? Surprising one to come in. So that's 8,000. You can get a 2014, probably going to be my next used electric vehicle, is this is from Eco Cars down in Galway, BMW i3 2014, 8,900, 2,000 euros of a drop there, mileage of 32,000. NEDC electric, full range of 130 kilometers, but again, what's the range today? And turning it on when you go down to the garage and taking it for a test drive and seeing exactly what the gasometer is actually going to say. But that'll depend on driving style, but also depending on time of the year, ambient temperature, etc., etc. So do your research, get that battery health report. But a great little car, totally futuristic. It has those rear hinge doors as well. We've got Ocean Ocelot 741 coming in. We just did a range test on my 2014 Leaf, 120 kilometers of full charge, mixed motorway and roads around Dublin, 106 kilometers, 106,000 kilometers on the clock and 11 bars. So that car sounds like it was looked after. With the Nissan Leaf, don't forget it doesn't have any battery management system. It's all passive. And so it did suffer a small bit from that as well. Just buy a Honda E or an i3. There's Andrew jumping in there, and i3 come up on the screen. So you can get a BMW i3. I think it's phenomenal value and a great little car. Had one last year when I was over at a friend's wedding in Germany. Great looking car, very iconic. This will probably be a collector's item down the line. Carbon fiber, monocoque shell. Yeah, really good. I think if you can see into the interior of it, you can see the carbon fiber there along the sill, and the fact that the rear facing door, the edge of it is the B pillar. So you can see there when you open up the rear door, it is opened up right into the cabin. Great space, great height in it as well. And if you can get the i3S, really great fun. So that's the BMW i3 coming in at just under 9,000 euros. Jumping up then to another OG, and you are looking at the Hyundai, or Hyundai, whatever way you want to call it, Ioniq, the original. This is the OG, originally known as the Wind Knife. Super efficient, 2017 with 120,000 kilometers, coming in at 12,500 euros. Really efficient because it is that aero, it is the same drag coefficient as the Tesla Model 3. On the inside, if we've got some interior pictures as well, it has not been ruined by multiple screens everywhere. There are plenty knobs and buttons. You can see there are buttons for the air conditioning, there are buttons for the set the temperature, the etc., etc. So buttons on the steering wheel. A great car. And for 12.5 grand for a 2017 one. Now, I've tried to make sure that I'm not looking at ex-taxis if I can at all. I've tried to make sure that the mileage isn't crazy, which would always be an indicator that it may have been a taxi. So I'm trying to be a bit realistic with regards to prices. You may find cheaper ones out there going direct and somebody selling it direct as well. But as I said, I tried to go through a dealer if I could at all. But again, the Ioniq, original Ioniq, coming in at 12,500. Next up, then, you have something you don't see too often on the roads in Generation 1, and just be conscious of it as well and be aware of it. We are going to Charlton Motor Company here, and this is a 2018 Kia Soul. You will know the difference on it by the front of it. It also comes in a couple of unique colors, like there's a white with a Smurf blue. The Generation 1 Kia Soul, just be careful, it has CHAdeMO connector, so same as the Nissan Leaf and some others. So just be conscious of the connecting fast charging port that's on these. But this one's coming in just under 15,000 euros, AA approved. Mileage on it, we are talking just under 74,000 kilometers for a 6-year-old vehicle. Underneath the average. For those watching, jump into the comments and let me know if it's of something of interest, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. This one is obviously based on the same platform as the Kona #1, but also the Nero EV or e-Niro Generation 1, and we have that on the list as well. But just, again, something that you wouldn't see, as it looks like there's a lot more space in it. I like the look of the Soul, very Asian-inspired K-Car. If I'm going to have 4 seats, it's only going to be a Mini. Ideally, need 3 seats in the back, but as a second car, we might get away with it. I think Matthew needs to get senior management approval there to make sure that he would get away with it. But the Kia Soul coming in at 15,000 euros. Great space. And again, has that Hyundai Kia, you can see here, knobs and buttons, etc., etc. Insert internally. Just watch that connector type. The later generations have CCS, so that fast charging connector. So, but if you're using these smaller EVs with the shorter range on them, Generation 1s, if you're only thinking about pottering around the town in it, you may never fast charge it. And so home charging or slower charging out on the public side of things, with just be aware of that. Matthew's back. Kia Soul is a great car for interior room. Friends of mine who are 6 foot plus fit in them, but not in other bigger cars. Yeah, definitely has that height. If we go back to the side profile, you will see, where are we? There we are. You can see it's literally, some people like to, reminds them of Darth Vader from sci-fi, that kind of, and you can get it looking a bit like a visor. So definitely one to look out for. And what else have we got coming on the list? Moving on, we have, for under 17,000 euros, a brand new electric vehicle. And this is the Volkswagen e-Up. I know some of my viewers have them. I saw one, a Dublin Reg one, and I want to do a coast-to-coast on this. I saw one at Charlestown in County Mayo, the hub there, for fast chargers. And so that person, I assume, had driven down from Dublin with it. So it definitely can go there. That's a 2024, sorry, it's not new, it's 2,500 kilometers on it. So it is demo model potentially, but that is coming in at just under 17,000 euros. Range, will it give the range? Range of the, it doesn't on the description. Probably talking 220, 210, I would say, on the Volkswagen e-Up. Now, if you didn't want a brand new or slightly brand new Volkswagen e-Up at 69, I have something else for you. Same platform, different badge, only one in the country at the moment on sale, and that is in Brogan's Motors, AA approved, Sign My Garage, 2021, so a couple of years old, and that's coming in at just under 15,000 euros, and that is a Seat Me. So Volkswagen e-Up, Seat Me, and the Skoda e-Citigo, e-Citigo, are all the same car in underneath. You are paying a bit more of a premium for the Volkswagen, but for a nearly new 2024 Volkswagen e-Up, for a couple of more thousand, you probably would go for that rather than a 3-year-old Seat Me electric for 15. You can see that one has nearly 20, just over 21,000 miles, it's saying here. I don't know whether that's miles or kilometers, but it is what it says on the website here. Thank you very much, Des, number 6, Paul. YouTube from the Republic of Dunleer. Appreciate the comment, and thank you very much for tuning in. Is there anybody tuning in on Instagram? Let's have a little look over here and see how we're getting on. If you are tuned in on Instagram, drop me a comment. Thanks. All streaming away here. So far, for people that are watching, what's your favorite of the first 7? Tough to decide. I think I'd go i3. Would be up there for me. Next up, next step up in a class of car for just under 17,000 euros. We are going to Bill Griffin Motors, and we are with a 2020, a 4-year-old MG ZS. Would have been a very popular taxi, so just be conscious of that. Looking at high mileage vehicles, this one is mileage-wise just under 50,000 miles. So over 4 years or 3.5 years, very much standard mileage for a Republic of Ireland car that's not a taxi. You would do that in a couple of months in a taxi if you were busy. So that size of a car, generation 1, you'll know the first generation because it has the grille on it. Like, that's a lot of car for 16,750. That's the list price as well. That's before you go into these dealers and start haggling them down. That me is a UK import. Thank you very much, Andrew, for clarifying that. This one comes with NCT until 2026, 2 years, alloys, parking sensors, touchscreen, leather interior. That's the interior of the MG. Less than 17 grand. Before you go in and haggle, before you trade in, there's not a lot wrong with that now. Okay, you want something a little different? I've got for just under 18,000, and I've seen them cheaper as well, but this one is with Hutton and Meath. They're drive electric, and it's coming in, and it's the original Kona 2019, 5 years old. This one has kilometers, just over 80,000 kilometers. You'll know it's the first generation because on the front it has that kind of, I always said corrugated, but it's the reverse of corrugated, if you know what I mean. It's actually indentations in the bonnet and the front grille. Whereas the next generation after this has a much smoother front end on it. Before there's a brand new Kona that's after coming out this year as well. But this is generation 1 for just under 18,000 euros. Seeing them for around 17 up. Hyundai Kona. Think of that warranty. Think if it's got a full service history, etc., etc. So don't forget about that. Hyundai Kona. Next up, we have the first of the MEB platforms, and we are rocking into the ID.3 generation 1. You'll know the difference by that black spoiler. Oh, I'm after deleting the tab I wanted to leave open. Oh my goodness. Generation 1. Yeah. Just at the top of the bonnet, you'll see that black plastic. If I can see my mouse cursor just along here. Generation 2, just kind of a facelift really, there's a bit of, that's not anymore. It's a full solid bonnet. Anyway, I digress. We're looking at a 2021, towards the end of 2021, Volkswagen ID.3 for just under 18,000 euros. That is a 58 kilowatt hour battery, which would be the majority of the ID.3s that were sold at the start. There are some 77s in the country earlier on, more and more of them towards newer cars, but ID.3, that range, I know a couple of people with this car, and yeah, absolutely no problem. So this one is 90,000 kilometers, 1 owner, 3 years old, high enough in the mileage. And so depending on the mileage, you might get a lesser mileage car versus one that would be a small bit more expensive. But I just said I'd take a starting price at these, and you can get an ID.3 a couple of years old for sub 20,000 euros. Secondhand. What do you think? Coming into Stellantis, which is a number of different brands, still sub 20,000 euros, and we're in Cardigan, as in Guardian, Cardian down in Limerick, and it is 17,950 for a E2008. Nice car. I believe that is the Pharaoh Gold, Pharaoh Yellow. This would have come with a 50 kilowatt hour battery, 45 usable, so a slightly smaller battery. Nice car. I had this during the pandemic and did a long-term testing as well. That video is up on my channel. DC fast charging speeds of up to 100 kilowatts. AC, I think, is 11, maybe 7. Oh, great question there, Ocelot 741. The F77 kilowatt hour ID.3 is only a 4-seat due to weight. Good. So if we go back to that ID.3, if you look in the back seat, if it is the larger battery, great piece of information on the back seats. You'll see here, it's obviously got a bit of a bench with a third seat belt and a seat in the middle. Scroll up there so you can see it. It's 2 separate seats in the 77 kilowatt hour ID.3. Is that still the case in the new ones, Ocelot? If you can let me know. Thanks a million. Back to the E208, starting the Stellantis stuff. That's 17,950. Then you go on something still within that Stellantis. You have the slightly more SUV side of things. I can get you an Opel Mach-E for just under 18,000 euros. Oh, that's not what I want. And this one is in Opel Mullingar. And that lovely green. I have a couple of videos on the channel with this same platform in underneath, same size battery. So wouldn't have a huge range. So WLTP, I think on these it's saying 350, if I recall correctly. Real world, you're probably talking 260. But again, depending on your driving style, depending on if you're going motorway, etc., etc. 12-month warranty with this car, etc. Let's go back out of the pictures. This one has 83,000 kilometers, one previous owner, and coming in at just under 19,000 euros. That is the Opel Mach-E. And then if you want, I don't think there's a picture on this ad, but if you wanted a Corsa E, again, exact same as the Peugeot E208, the E-Corsa, this one at Frankine is just under 20,000 euros. Picture coming soon. And mileage on that one, 2 previous owners. Features, specifications. Where is the mileage on that, please, Frank? Mr. Keane, 39, just over 39,000 euros on that Opel Corsa. So they're all the same platform in underneath. So around 19,000 for an E208 currently in Ireland, August 2024, Mach-E, and then Corsa E. 2008 is a car I didn't look at actually, so probably in around that as well. What else have we got on our list? We're a third of the way through, and we're a third of the way through on time as well. Fiat 500e. We have Zocar giving us one for just under 19,000 euros as well. The only Stellantis car I was told in one of my previous videos that has an automatic handbrake, because this was developed before Fiat joined the Stellantis group. So Fiat 500e, what do we think in the comments? I thought it was a very well-spec car for its size, but also for its price when it was launched. It comes in up to different battery sizes as well, so just be conscious of the battery that you're getting. This one has just over 14,500 kilometers. Registration seems to be a UK import from Northern Ireland, I believe, when it's coming in from Zocar and Drogheda. I think when I was doing my research, it said that it was Northern Ireland based, so you wouldn't have the import levy somewhere there. But I've seen other ones in around that price as well. So sub 20,000 for a Fiat 500e. Matthew, you were talking about a mini electric, and we have Frankine, mini electric hatch level 2. So depending on the trim level, and this one's coming in at sub 20. We have Gamer Trojan coming in saying that it's a cute car, but 2 doors, too short. Yes, it is definitely not for Derek sitting in the back seat. Do they even have pictures of the back seat in this carousel? There's a lot of front seat action. There we go. In fairness to them, they do have a picture of the back seat. They just conveniently didn't show the legroom. And then a slightly smaller boot with the smallest partial shelf in the world, if I remember correctly. The Fiat 500e. But we're back to the Mini Electric. Mini Hatch Electric Level 2. So trim levels within Mini world for this generation was that there were different levels. Level 2, Level 3, Level 4, I believe. I don't think there was a Level 1. And that's coming in at 2020 with 33,000 kilometers. 202 Reg Kildare coming in at 19.5. Range will be now choice on the Mini and the Fiat 500e. So small car, but also small battery because they have to package it in. So just be conscious of that. Next up, we have a much larger vehicle, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the first electric estates. We had the MG ZS already, and now we have the MG5 with Bluegate by Frank Keane. This video is not sponsored by any dealer. I just researched it out, and there are some of them that just came up a lot. Some dealers are preferring to stock electric vehicles. Some dealers are preferring to be the go-to for trading in electric vehicles. So there's definitely an appetite. I thought there'd be a lot more. Some of the models and some of the makes, and we'll talk about that later on when we get to the likes of Tesla, there wouldn't be as many of them in stock and dealers. So it would be a lot more private sales just because there isn't a dealer network out there for them. But some dealers do stock them. That's the ones that I've listed so that you at least get some element of warranty, the fact that a garage might be SIMI, the fact that it might be AA approved, etc., etc. So MG5. This would be the boss's choice, Matthew? Is that what you mean, the MG5? This is coming in at sub 20,000 euros. Very practical car. Again, came in a couple of different battery sizes, so just be conscious of that. So there was a standard range and a long range. This one has 28,000, it says miles. Is it miles? Is it kilometers? I don't know. I think it's probably kilometers. It's just the fact that the website says miles. MG5. Practical. A lot of these would have been used for taxis, so just be careful and watch the mileage on some of those as well. The Mini, Derek, the Mini, not the MG5. Thank you, Matthew. Next up, we have the most popular electric vehicle ever in Ireland, and that is the MG4. This model I'm getting in at sub 23,000 euros. Again, very popular taxi, so just watch that. I did find a couple of them in around that 20,000 euro mark. This one hasn't even been listed. It's just probably a trade-in in Ballina, County Mayo, a Connolly Group. So we haven't got any pictures, but we do have one previous owner, 56,000 kilometers. So I would say it potentially wasn't a taxi. I can't guarantee that. It is grey, and the price there of just under 23,000 euros for a Volkswagen ID.5. The most popular electric vehicle on Irish roads for the last probably year and a half since it overtook the Nissan Leaf. So just be watching that. Next up then, we have one of my favorites as well, is the Kia Niro, e-Niro. And then the newer one is the Niro EV. So the e-Niro, Dunshaughlin Motor Company, and it is reserved since I saw it earlier on today. So I'm not sure if that reserved sticker is going to, watermark going to be across all the pictures. No, it won't. This came in a Coffee hybrid. This also came in fully combustion. Phenomenal car. Phenomenal car. A couple of different battery sizes, so just be conscious of that, but also great space. This is on the same platform as the Kona, but this one was slightly longer in the rear seat and in the boot. And this one is, price-wise again, for a e-Niro, just under 22,000 euros. So in around that price point, you're talking for a lot of EV drivers in the United Kingdom that are getting this as second-hand. Mr. EV YouTube channel, he has one. He's after driving to Italy and back. A lot of people are finding that this is one of the best value EVs out there for size, tech, range. I'm just double checking to see. This one has 23,000 kilometers. Battery on this probably doesn't tell me, but I think it was a 63 kilowatt hour battery, if I'm not mistaken. That's the kind of one you'd be looking for. Real mid 400. on a standard day and a warm day, we were seeing people getting over 500-kilometer range easy in this. So yeah, super range, great efficiency, and again, for a vehicle that wasn't ground up, a lot to be said for the Koreans and what they did with that. Next, we have Tesla Model 3, Generation 1. You'll know it's Generation 1 by the chrome around the windows. And this is a 2020, so it's a 3.5-4-year-old reg car, and it is coming in at just under 22,000 euros. Seeing them for around that 2022, 23, probably get them private for around 2020. And so, yeah, mileage on this one, I thought was a bit high when I was doing the, yeah, it is 140,000 kilometers. I've seen them with less mileage. You might be paying for 23, 24,000, but market rate is in around that. Tesla Model 3 for just over 20,000 euros. Monthly of 400 euros with Holden Motor Company here on this advertisement. Again, I don't know what the rates are, and I don't know what their percentage rates are. A couple of different battery sizes. So you would have got standard range, you would have got long range, and you would have got performance. So again, understanding what type of vehicle you're going to be getting. They're not all the same. Doing your battery check on them, hopefully getting a warranty, because there's only one showroom in Dublin and another one in Cork, understanding if it's still in warranty, etc., etc. So be conscious of all that kind of stuff with any electric vehicle that you're buying, and understand what's covered and what's not covered. There's plenty of great owner groups out there as well. If you're thinking about buying it, plenty of people on the roads with them as well and asking them the difference. Irish EV Association has a really good and useful Facebook page as well. That's where I know Matthew from. Thank you, Matthew. Okay, I was shooting through it very fast, and I can sit down a small bit now because I've gotten through it. Jaguar I-Pace. This one is a 90 kilowatt hour battery, probably one of the best driving and handling electric vehicles. 2018 World Car of the Year, and this one's coming in for sub 25,000 euros. Yeah, 110 euros a week. You can see their higher purchase. Odometer is 150,000 kilometers, so definitely on the higher side for sure. I believe that they, Fallon and Hughes, have a lower mileage. Well, hold on a second, folks. Why don't we just check? They have a lower mileage version with a bigger price. That Jag is his price. Thank you, Gamer Trojan. And so that one was coming in at 25. They do have one that has half the mileage, a grey one for just over 30, 31. Yeah, so depending on the mileage, obviously, like all vehicles, not just electric vehicles. But yeah, that's a fine lump of a car for that price of 25,000 euros. 4-year-old, 3.5-year-old technically, but you know what I mean. That's a 2020 and we're in 2024. For those people watching back on this video, when they're thinking of buying a used EV, or somebody send you the link, if you haven't already liked the video, please do. But yeah, a couple of mates of mine have a Jaguar I-Paces as well. Yeah, as I said, it's probably one of the best driving cars. They really did a great job on it when they did develop it. Developed by Magna, or built by Magna in Austria for them. Next up, we're back to Tesla, and this one is a bit of a bigger, and it's Generation 1. Model S, and you'll know that by the black nose cone on the front of it. And this one is coming in at just under 26,000 euros for a Tesla Model S. You can see mileage there, 160,000. Yeah, big motorway cruiser, fine car. Some of the OG ones have unlimited mileage on them, or limited supercharging on them, so you're definitely not going to get them off them. They will hold on to them forever. A lot of UK YouTubers are starting, so Auto Trader has one, and also, who else has one? Auto Alex bought one. X-Taxis. Auto Trader put out a great video there a couple of days ago on his battery and what needs to happen, and rather than the scaremongering that's happening with battery changing and battery swapping, and talking to people that know what they're talking about with regards to individual modules, etc. So Gen 1 Tesla Model S for just under 26,000 euros. A fine car. I took one for a road trip down to Kerry, Killarney, a couple of years ago. And so, yeah, good, nice car. It definitely, it needed the refresh. And so we do have the new Tesla Model S and X, but they're left-hand drive only at the moment, and potentially may never come in right-hand drive, but the older stuff, you will get it out there. Next up, we have World Car of the Year. Hyundai Ioniq 5 coming in at sub 25,000 euros. This is Frank Keane again, Bluegate Car Store, and this has 8,851 on the odometer. One owner, 2022, for sub 25,000 euros. Phenomenal car. Amazing how to think that when this car was coming out, the price it was going for, and what we're getting now. Really good. I have the Ioniq 6 further down my list, if you're wondering in the comments. Excuse me. But yeah, Ioniq 5 for sub 20,000 euros. Great question there, Danny. It's two vehicles I didn't put in here because they're so new. Is any BYD Seal owners in here? I was thinking of grading it to one or a second-hand BMW i4. Jump into the comments if you are a BMW i4 or BYD Seal owners. I just thought they were a bit too fresh to put into this used EV rundown, but we can jump into the comments afterwards. Next up, this could be the one for you, Matthew, if you're still tuned into me. 2021 Honda E for 26,000 euros down in Slaney View Motors, down in Wexford. Not a lot of these in the road, so they seem to be holding their value. Expensive car to start with, but super funky car, super styling. Again, probably going to be a future classic. You can see it's got the digital door mirrors with the cameras on the outside, and then on the inside then you'll see either side. Amazing when we got to drive it first a couple of years ago. Still amazing. Great to see them around. And again, not a lot of them around on the roads. This 2021 has 30,000 kilometers, not a very big battery, and then space in the back. Thank you, Slaney, for actually putting in. You can see it's literally like a bench seat. It's great. And it's got, yeah, very quirky, really great car, if that's what you're into, if you're into a bit of tech. Next up then is a very popular car on Irish roads, and you can see why. Based on that MEB platform, jumping into Danny, jumping back to you. Yes, Danny, we have the Honda 2021 seems expensive. Yeah, because it was so expensive to start with, Danny. Number one. Number two, not a lot of them sold, so they have held their value. And you can get a brand new MG4 for around 27,000 euros with EcoBoost. I think that you can actually get it for cheaper than that. We did an article on Nevo.e recently about the 5 most affordable EVs on the market. So if you go to Nevo.e, you can see that article there as to the offers that are there at the moment. And one we missed was the Aura Funky Cat as well. So there's some good offers out there at the moment. Anyway, back to the Skoda Enyaq. Two different battery sizes. This is the 60, so this 55 kilowatt hour battery, and this one's coming in at 26,675. A lump of a car, slightly longer, slightly bigger boot than the ID.4, but in essence the same car in underneath. It does come in a bigger battery size, the 80. It comes in an all-wheel drive, which is the 80X, and then there's also the VS or VRS version, which I've also had up on my channel. And so yeah, fine lump of a car, and for the money, I know that you can get ID.4s for 22. Just because there's a lot of them on the road, but this one coming in at 26.5, 27, that's the kind of price that I was seeing starting off at, and that's a year 2021. So yeah, great value car and a great car overall. Same platform, slightly smaller car. Well, not slightly smaller car, it is a smaller car. Next size down, and again, due to the fact that it had such a high starting price, number one, but also not a lot of them on the road, is the Cupra Born. So this is coming in around 27,000. This is with Western Motors and Drogheda. 2022 with the 58 kilowatt hour battery. So this is the same as the ID.3. And when we look at the ID.3 earlier on, you're getting ID.3s now for around about 18,000. So about 9,000 euros of a premium in the difference. So Problem with Oracat is Great Wall Motors has pulled out of Europe this month. Oh, gamer trojan, I'm not sure about that. I got an email today to say that they're still there, but I won't, until I research it, I won't comment on it. Coming back to the 2022 Cupra Born, this one is with Western Motors, and it has 61,500 kilometers. It's had 2 owners. Lovely looking car. I drove the sporty version of it there recently in Barcelona, VZ. And yeah, the e-boost, there was an e-boost version of this, which was more powerful, but the VZ version, even better. So Cupra Born, around 27,000 starting, but the same as an ID.3. So if you're looking for something a little bit more stylish on the roads, you are paying a premium for it though. So don't forget that. Back over to Galway with Eco Cars, and they have an Audi e-tron 55 Quattro with a 95 kilowatt hour battery, long range, for 29,000 euros. Danny also said that's the first he heard of that. And so, phenomenal car. A couple of mates of mine, a mate of mine, Kevin, has one of these. A mate of mine, Sean, has one of these. Just after having a new baby. Congratulations, Sean. A big lump, Generation 1, not super efficient, but it is a lot of car for that kind of money, and interior-wise, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. When you, the quality of the fit and finish and feel in the original e-trons, soon to be called the Q8, or is already called the Q8, but back in the day it was originally called just the e-tron, whereas all of the electric Audis work with e-tron, but now are not. It's even numbers, and the new Audis are going to be electric, and odd numbers. That's why the A4 has now gone to the A5. But you all probably knew that already. So down in Galway, we've got the Eco Cars with 29,000 for e-tron. Next up, same brand, newer car, smaller car. We've got the Q4. We take away some of these tabs. And this with Joe Duffy Group, Audi Q4 e-tron 35 Sport. So this is the smaller battery, 2021, 90,000 kilometers, and coming in at just under 30,000 euros. Fine car. It made my shortlist when I drove it first. I just like the styling of it. But it's on that MEB platform, but it has that Audi quality inside of it, and you're paying for it. So this is the same as the ID.4 and the Skoda Enyaq. So again, have a think about what brand you like, what kind of fit and finish you like, what you want itself. But the Q4 e-tron I could find starting in around that 30,000 euros. Same platform, but in a coupe style. We're back to Volkswagen, and now we're back with the ID.5. And this is with Blackwater and Skibbereen, and this is coming in at just under 34,000 euros. So ID.5 is the coupe ID.4. We weren't there. You can see the back of it there. A few of them on the road, so they're obviously holding their value a bit more than the ID.4. So when you think about it, you're getting ID.4s for 22, 23 at the entry level ones, and this ID.5 is, there you go. This one is with, I think this is the larger battery. Yeah, 77 kilowatt hour battery. So just comparing like with like, the ID.4 was with the smaller battery, just to be clear on that. So ID.5, bigger battery. Did the ID.5 only come in big battery? Potentially. There is a Dolphin for that price new. Gamer Trojan, there is a Dolphin for that price now. How do they compare? X-Demo model, I believe. Dolphin, much smaller car. Then an ID.5, do you mean, Gamer Trojan? Much smaller car, like super hatch, whereas this is a seaside SUV coupe, and way bigger battery. Now, that doesn't mean that the Dolphin wouldn't have the range of it because it's a smaller car, but this is a much bigger car, I suppose. Did they fix the software issues at 90 rates? I believe so, yeah. They're all starting to get up to a level now where they've been updated either through the garage or over the air. I think they needed a certain number upgrade in the garage, and then by that stage, then they could do the over-the-air update. I haven't heard too many software, not like it was back in the day. E-tron, okay, B, I meant. Sorry, Gamer Trojan. Yeah, the e-tron versus, do you mean the e-tron versus the Dolphin? And there might be a delay in the time here. Earlier one, the e-tron, yeah. Yeah, totally different car. Dolphin, much smaller. Next up, we have, for price-wise, 35,000 euros. So there's just a couple of grand over here. We have Polestar 2 for 35,000 euros, brand new, 29 kilometers on the dash. Now there's a facelift one coming, so that's obviously going to dictate the price, but this is with Spirit Group in Dublin, right beside the Polestar space. 2024, 29 kilometers on the clock, 241, so pre-regged a couple of months ago. So demo model, 69 kilowatt hour battery for 35,000 euros. A brand new car. That's probably deal of the day. It is probably deal of the day. Yeah, I was amazed to see that. So fair play. Next up, we have Irish Car of the Year last year. Not everybody's taste with regards to styling. Super efficient because it has that styling of that being such an aero car is the Ioniq 6 2023. So last year, this one has just over 3,000 kilometers on it. So like a demo model, and 36,000 euros. That's a fine lump of a car. Now, it is a saloon, so the boot is a smaller hatch. The styling is not to everybody's taste. Some people may think it looks like an old Mercedes CLS, or there's an element of Porsche in it. Some people don't mind it. Some people love it. Some people do not like it. Ryan. The styling of that Ioniq 6 doesn't do it for me. Ryan, there are a number of people out there like that. I like it. Have you seen it in person? A lot of people have seen it online and then didn't see it in person. And when you see it in person, there definitely is a difference to it. It's a unicorn on the road, same as the Ioniq 5 in underneath. So just be conscious of that. And you can buy an Ioniq 5 for, where's my spreadsheet? 25. So you're paying 10, 11 grand more. Alan Smith, great to see you. That Polestar 2 is a steal for that price. Yes, it is. Coming towards the end, something a bit bigger. Premium, we have the Mercedes-Benz 2019 EQC. 2019 at just under 38,000 euros. Fine lump of a car. Very like the e-tron Audi, the big one. Generation 1 wouldn't be the most efficient, but let's see if we can get an interior picture there. Like MBUX, like that's all Mercedes, and that's a lump of an SUV as well. So good boot space, but just be conscious of the range. That's just over 95,000 kilometers. But fine lump of a car for sub 35,000 euros, and per month if you go through Mercedes-Benz Dublin South or South Dublin, just under 700 euros a month. Boom. We're getting towards the end, folks. We've only got 4 left, and then we're going to ask what would tickle your fancy. Hopefully, Daddy, somebody come in and commented on whatever platform you're looking on with regards to a BYD Seal or a i4. Unfortunately, they didn't make my list. I just hadn't enough time to do everything today, but I got 30 odd. Mustang Mach-E. Hard to see that car now with being in black and being indoor, but a fine lump of a car. 2231, so just over a year old. Let me see what the price in it is again for a Mustang Mach-E. 40,000 euros. A fine car. I enjoy driving it. I have a couple of reviews up on my channel. I did coast to coast in it, if I'm not mistaken. This is over in Kylemore. 26,000 on the odometer. 2023 EQBs, price well, a 7-seater, 3 Isofix across it. Danny, what kind of prices are you getting? I didn't do that in my list either. Next, we've got our final 3 before we wrap up this evening, folks. Whistle Stop Tour. Des is like, Polestar 2 for me. I saw it first, Alan. Fighting in the comments about who's going to get that Polestar 2. The world's best-selling electric vehicle, the Tesla Model Y. Tony Hogan. Long range, white, leather interior, 2 years old, 22,500. And Tony has it for just under 42,000 euros. Long range. So, yeah. Fine lump of a car. What's a long range Tesla Model Y new? But very few of these actually on the market. And there's a new version coming, but we don't know when. Probably going to be 2025 at this stage, unless they drop it shortly, like they did with the Highland Tesla Model 3. So we know that there's one coming. We just don't know. We haven't confirmation of it yet. At some stage, there has been a slight update. Some of the Tesla Model Ys in China. I've done a video on it my channel if you're interested in Model Y and whether you should wait or buy now. Did very well, actually. And staying with Tesla, 52 for Model Y, so you're saving 10 grand, Matthew. That's not a bad car for 42 versus 52. Long range, thank you. We are coming into another big lump of a Tesla. Come on now. Open up the tab. And we are back to Frankine for not the last time. I'm not sponsored by Frankine, I swear. This is a Tesla Model Y. So the gull wing doors, and this is coming in at 44,000 euros. A 172. Does it have pictures with the doors open? It'd be a shame if they didn't. Let's see. You can see it there in the picture on the central dash. So it opens up. It's double hinged. Very unique on the road. Model X 2017. Mileage on this one 33,000. Yeah, fine lump of a car for 44,000 euros. And this has the white interior. Where is, yeah, and actually not bad to keep clean. Danny, beautiful interior. Yeah, I'd agree. And then the last one I looked at for my trip around is the BMW iX. And this is with BMW Frankine in Black Rock. And the car is coming in at 56,000 euros for 2021. A lump of a car, but not styles to everybody's taste. Had it a few times. I was at the international launch, actually, one of my first international visits. I did the i4 and the iX on the same trip. Seen a few of them on the road, not a lot. I know there's one of my viewers down in Mullingar's after buying the xDrive 60 version. Fair play to them. Beautiful interior. Yeah, really nice, but the most expensive car we have today. That is my 31 electric vehicles. Danny doesn't like that BMW grille. Let me see if we can get a picture of it there for you, Danny, before we let you go. That's a video. There we go. Folks, remove this one, not that one. And then we go there. We've a couple of minutes left to chat. What did I miss out on? What did you like the most? What tickles your fancy? Is the Polestar 2 going to be the one that is going to steal all of your votes? We've over a couple of hundred people watching, so I definitely want to hear what you're thinking as much as everybody's going to be tuning in or listening back to this. If I take all of the 31 vehicles and add up their starting price at the most affordable price point that they've come in at, and then divide it out, the average across those 31 vehicles is around 25,000 euros. But we do have more affordable ones down towards the bottom. If you start at the top of the video, you're talking your Nissan Leafs, your Renault Zoes, your i3s, which would have shorter range. But then when you start creeping into the Ioniqs and the ZSs, original Ioniqs has 12.5. ZS, lots of fine SUV from MG, and that's 17. Kona around 17. ID.3 around 18. Yeah. Matthew is coming back. Ioniq 6. That's not a fine car, Matthew. I think that senior management would allow that. Polestar 2 for sure. Good stuff. Polestar 2 or EV6. Very good. EV6. I didn't put an EV6 in this, actually. Kia, apologies. Thanks for doing this. Some interesting surprises there. You're very welcome, Gamer Trojan. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks everybody for tuning in. What's your top 3 yourself? Top 3 would you recommend to others? I've always liked the e-Niro, and the newer e-Niro EV. So definitely that one. I love the BMW i3 if you didn't need the big range. There is a Rex range extender in that, a couple of them in my neighborhood. Not that I'd be condoning that sort of stuff, but if you did have a bit of anxiety about having a bit of range, this is the guy that has the Peugeot Ion with a real world range of less than 60 kilometers as my own car. And then the third one then, and a newer, God, it's hard to look past the likes of a Skoda Enyaq for 27,000, Matthew. Fine car. Like, fine car. Steve, you're very welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Definitely the Polestar 2 if I was in the market. Alan, I'd say you'd be changing, will you, in 2025? What will you be going for? There's a small battery in the Ioniq 6. On the one I showed, was there? I thought they all came in 2 sizes of battery. Let's bring it up, Andrew, and see what we've got going on here. So Ioniq 6 for 36,000. What have we got here? Performance, dimensions, safety. What do we got? Dimensions? Nope. Running costs? Not available. Yeah, I didn't think the Ioniq 6 came in a smaller battery. I know that Hyundai do that in their Konas and others, but I think they started to lean towards it. It's a really uncomfortable in the rear with the position of the bench. The 6, is it? The Niro is really uncomfortable in the rear with the position of the bench. The e-Niro, oh, I didn't find it too bad. I didn't sit in it for a long time now. I just sat in to see if my legs could fit. But if you know that yourself, absolutely no problem. Late to this, but anything on the BZ4X thinking of buying. Didn't put it in, Ida, because I just felt too new. I was going back a couple of years, so apologies. It didn't make the cut this time, but I'll definitely add it to the list. The likes of the BMW i4, the likes of the EV6. I did over 30 tonight, but I didn't have anything on that. Not sure you'll get a lot of them used because they didn't have too many in the market. I think they only kind of started bringing them in, if I'm not mistaken, last year. But check the range to make sure that the range works for you. Phenomenal warranty on the BZ4X, and I know that they've sold a lot of them last month and so far this year, so there's definitely them out there as well. And similar car to the Subaru Solterra. Might look in El Rock. What's the lifetime? 10 years, 8-year warranty on new make, second-hands less desirable since most of them offer 1 year, yes. If you go with a franchise dealer, Gamer Trojan, and it has been serviced by a dealer that's within that franchise, that warranty carries, to my knowledge. So if you get a Kona in a Hyundai garage and it has been in that Hyundai garage all of its life and it's been serviced, that warranty will carry over. So you will get that extension of warranty, but just double check that with your local dealer. That's my understanding of it. You're very welcome. In more detail for the Ioniq 6. In more detail for the... Oh, sorry. In the more detail in the Ioniq 6. More detail. I believe you, Andrew. I won't. As we get close to the hour mark. Just joined. I purchased the Cupra Born eBoost V3. Very happy with. Prefer the bigger battery. The VZ is too expensive, I think. Yes, Joe Levy, you are correct. It is a bit on the spicy side, both in power and also in price. But stylish car, and best of luck with it. And the eBoost V3, very good. You don't see too many of them on the road. Can't beat the Leaf if you're specific. Limited use, I think. Local commute, school runs during the week, absolutely. Like, that's why I have a Peugeot Ion. It suits our needs. Shop, walk on the beach, etc., etc. We don't need huge range. It's not going to make it to Belmullet, but manufacturer's warranties carry over. So Danny is backing me up. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Like the video if you have liked it. Leave a comment after I finish up just to say that you enjoyed it. It all helps the algorithm and getting the word out there. But we're going to do these a bit more often. I say that every time. I will do it, I promise. But there's been a lot of interest in the used EVs and what's out there, and just highlighting the different prices, the different ranges, and what you can get. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review, and you'll start to see that I'm starting to do more used EVs on the channel. So we're definitely getting some of those. But thank you very much for watching.